Hello again. This is a short video, hopefully, about trying to get a broken mini disc player to work. This is one I've owned for some time. Now I can't remember if it's ever worked properly. It's an early sort of use of this design that became quite common in the later well, not high end, but the later models of mini disc. So the ones that had the various recording formats, so you could squeeze more onto a mini disc, and also it's quite nice because it's got a single battery. So this one is a MZ-R70 model, and it really feels quite well made. Now what I would imagine is the issue here is the mechanism is not freed up, so it's not been used for a long time, and it needs to be greased. So when I press play, nothing's coming up to look for the disc. You can see actually slightly, I don't know if you can see in the angle of the camera, but it does try to do something, because when you press play, the display, it kind of comes on very sort of dimly. You can see all of the LCD is sort of displayed, and it's making a sort of a very sort of small sound, like a clicking sound. So what I'll do is, let's put a mini disc in. So obviously this is a standard short play mini disc, one of the shop bought ones. It's just not, it doesn't seem to be moving at all, so it's not moving the head at all. It doesn't feel like it's spinning up, but it's obviously trying to do something. So okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to first of all, I'm going to pop off this cover here and see if I can free up the mechanism inside, because there's not a huge amount of room in here. You could get your finger in there to kind of move this around to see if there's any play, but I think I'll be better off just taking this off. So I'm going to have a look at that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get a bit of grease onto here, just a small amount of lithium grease, and I'm going to sort of move this along, and hopefully that'll free up some of the mechanism. There may be something else here, like maybe there's a sensor that's not responding properly, so I'll have a closer look. I've carefully put the lid back on without putting the screws in, and I'm able to put the disc back in, but fortunately that hasn't made any difference. So I'm going to take the back off here and see if there's anything stuck or obvious on the back. I wonder if anyone can help me diagnose what the issue with this player is. So I've put the screws back in on the front. I've put a little bit of grease on the row, so that seems to be okay. So I've just popped the bottom cover off, and like all these things, I don't really want to start taking this board out to look underneath it. Possibly it's soldered in, and I would have to desolder some of this. I'm not entirely sure. The board itself is very narrow, very thin, so there's a risk there that I could crack that. One thing I did do, which is quite interesting, there's a little cog here. It's like a little gear. So if you turn that, and then if I press play, you listen. So that does move the head, and then the display does look like it's trying to light up, but it doesn't. So what I would say about this is it's as if the motor is failing to spin up. So the actual spindle is free, so that spins freely. I checked that. So maybe the motor is shot on this, or it could be a sensor again, but that's just my guess. So it might not be worth doing anything more with this. It may be useful to sell this for parts because it's reasonably good condition, so someone might have already scratched out one that's working, so that might be a good thing for them to do, is to perhaps buy this and then they can make a nice one from their other one. So yeah, the only thing I did notice as well, this is all metal. This case is, it's absolutely fantastic the way this has been built. You can see this is used, I think, as a bit of a heat sink, so there's a little bit of a mark there. So this chip here obviously gets warm normally. I've done a sniff test and it smells okay, everything smells fine. So yeah, anyone got any ideas, please let me know, but it's probably not worth me going further with this to take this apart. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now. Hello again. I wanted to show you something about this player. So in the previous video I had trouble getting this to work, and something I found, because it obviously wasn't spinning up the disc, but it was trying to seek the head. I discovered that this here was slightly bent upwards. So this is a kind of holding part that holds the sort of tray for the mini disc, and it was not protruding enough downwards. So I was wondering, have I got a micro switch, have I got a button in there that it's maybe got a rest against to say that the player is properly closed? So interestingly, I was able to bend this slightly, and then I closed the player, and lo and behold, it started to spin up, and now it says no disc. So if I open up the player and put the disc in, mini disc in, it's found the disc, it's read the table of contents. If I press play, you can see it's actually working. So I was about to throw this mini disc player away, or at least try to sell it, and I've been able to fix the issue just by bending that little contact. So hopefully that could be useful to someone with a similar problem, possibly on a similar age player to this. So this is the MZ-R70. Well, thank you very much for watching, and please subscribe, and I will put more videos on as I have time to. Okay, thank you very much. Bye for now.